Some moments look ordinary while they happen, yet later we realize they were the moments that quietly shaped our entire life. Maybe today, God simply wants to remind your heart that the present moment still carries a meaning you cannot fully see yet.
Breathe deeply. God is here. Before we pray, allow these words to reach your heart. Life often convinces us that meaning lives somewhere ahead, in a longer future, or in better circumstances. But many of the most sacred moments arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary days. A conversation, a smile, a moment of peace that we almost overlook. And sometimes we only understand later that those small moments were gifts we were meant to fully live. And it is with this thought that we will pray. Father, today we come before you with hearts that are learning to see life differently. Because so many times we rushed through our days believing that meaning was waiting somewhere further ahead, somewhere in a longer future or in a more perfect moment. Yet today we pause to recognize that the life you give us is happening right now, in this breath, in this moment, in this quiet space where our hearts can finally slow down enough to notice your presence surrounding us, guiding us, sustaining us even when we did not realize it. And we ask you, Lord, to teach us to live the life that is already in our hands instead of constantly chasing the life we imagine somewhere else. Help us recognize the sacred value hidden in simple moments, the conversations, the silences, the embraces, the ordinary minutes that later become the memories we hold closest to our hearts. Remind us that every day we wake up is already a gift written by your grace, and help us live it with awareness, gratitude, and faith. Because we never truly know which moment will become the one that matters most. Lord, teach our hearts to slow down in a world that constantly pushes us to rush past the very moments that carry meaning. Because so often we are so focused on tomorrow that we forget the sacredness of today. And we look for purpose somewhere far away, while your grace is quietly unfolding in the present moment we are standing in right now. Help us notice the beauty in the ordinary, the quiet conversations, the laughter that fills a room, the peaceful moments that seem small but carry the warmth of life itself. Remind us that the life we are living today will one day become the memories we wish we had embraced more deeply, and awaken in us a spirit of gratitude that sees every sunrise as a new page written by your mercy, every breath as evidence that you are still sustaining us, and every ordinary moment as a place where your presence is gently walking beside us, teaching us that life is not measured only in years but in the depth of the moments we truly live. Father, there are moments we only understand long after they have passed, moments that seemed ordinary at the time, but later reveal how deeply they shaped our hearts and our lives. And today we ask you to open our eyes while those moments are still happening. Teach us to recognize the quiet gifts hidden in everyday life, the people you place beside us, the opportunities to love, to listen, to forgive, to be present in ways that truly matter, because so often we believe there will always be more time, more conversations, more chances to say what our hearts carry. Yet life sometimes moves in ways we cannot predict, and not every story offers a farewell or a final moment to express what we wish we had said. So Lord, help us live today with a heart that is awake, a heart that values the people and the moments you have entrusted to us right now, so that our lives may be filled not with regret for what we missed, but with gratitude for what we truly lived. Lord, sometimes we live as if life will always wait for us, as if the moments around us will remain untouched until we decide to truly pay attention. But time moves quietly and gently, carrying days forward without asking whether we noticed the beauty hidden inside them. And today we ask you to awaken our hearts so we do not walk through life half present and distracted. Help us cherish the voices we hear, the people we love, the peaceful minutes that feel small but are actually sacred spaces where your grace quietly breathes. Teach us to pause long enough to recognize the value of what is in front of us right now, because the present moment is the place where life truly happens. It is the place where love is spoken, where forgiveness is offered, where kindness becomes real, and where your presence meets us in the middle of ordinary life, reminding us that every moment lived with awareness becomes a seed of meaning planted deep inside the soul. Father, teach us to live with attentive hearts, because so often we move through our days distracted by worries about tomorrow or regrets about yesterday, forgetting that the present moment is the only place where life truly unfolds and where your grace quietly meets us. Open our eyes to see the sacred value hidden in ordinary moments, the conversations that warm the heart, the quiet pauses that bring peace, the simple gestures of love that might seem small but carry a depth we only understand later. Help us cherish the people who walk beside us now. Help us listen more carefully, speak more kindly, and love more openly while we still have the opportunity. Remind us that not every story offers a final chapter where everything can be said, and sometimes the moments we overlook today become the ones we wish we had embraced with greater tenderness. So teach us, Lord, to honor the gift of this day, this hour, this breath that you have graciously placed in our hands. Lord, we often imagine that the most meaningful moments in life will arrive with great signs and clear importance. Yet so many of the most sacred experiences come quietly, hidden inside ordinary days that seem simple while they happen. Help us recognize that the life we are living right now is not a waiting room for something greater, but part of the story you are writing with purpose and care. Open our hearts so we can fully experience the people around us, the laughter that fills a room, the peaceful silence that brings rest to the soul, the gentle reminders that love is present in ways we sometimes overlook. Teach us to value the moments that may never repeat again, because every day holds opportunities to show kindness, to offer forgiveness, to share words that heal and encourage, and help us live with the awareness that time moves quietly forward, and that the moments we embrace today will become the memories that shape our hearts tomorrow. Father, remind us that life is not only found in the milestones we wait for, but also in the quiet moments that happen between them. The unnoticed minutes that pass while we are busy chasing the next achievement or worrying about what tomorrow may bring. Teach us to see the beauty of what is already here, the presence of the people we love, the sound of laughter, the peace of a simple conversation, the warmth of a moment shared without hurry, because these are often the places where your grace gently reveals itself. Help us resist the habit of postponing love, kindness, and attention for a later time that may never come. Awaken within us the understanding that every moment we live with sincerity becomes part of a deeper story written by your hands, and guide our hearts so that we learn to honor the present as a sacred gift, rather than rushing past it in search of something we believe will matter more. Lord, sometimes we only realize the true value of a moment after it has quietly passed. After the voices fade, the rooms grow silent, and the days move forward without the people or circumstances that once filled them. And in those moments we understand that life was happening in ways we did not fully notice. So today we ask you to awaken our hearts before time moves further ahead. Teach us to embrace the present with gratitude, to see the beauty of the ordinary, to recognize the gentle ways your grace moves through simple conversations, shared laughter, and peaceful moments of presence. Help us resist the habit of believing there will always be another opportunity to say what matters or to show the love that lives inside us. Remind us that every moment is a fragile and sacred gift, and guide us so that we live today with open eyes and attentive hearts, honoring the life that unfolds quietly in front of us. Father, there are people and moments in our lives that feel so familiar that we begin to believe they will always remain exactly as they are. Yet time gently reminds us that every season carries its own rhythm, and that not every chapter lasts forever. Help us treasure the relationships you have placed around us today, the voices we hear, the presence we share, the opportunities to love, encourage, and care for one another while we still walk the same path. Teach us to express gratitude more often, to speak words that build rather than postpone them for another day. Awaken in us a deeper awareness that love is meant to be lived in the present and not saved for a future that may unfold differently than we expect. Guide our hearts to recognize that every conversation, every embrace, and every shared moment carries a meaning that may only be fully understood later, and help us live in a way that honors the gift of the people and moments we have now. Lord, teach us to recognize the quiet holiness hidden inside ordinary time, because so often we search for meaning in distant dreams while the most important parts of life are unfolding gently in front of us. Help us slow down enough to truly see the people you have placed beside us and the moments you allow us to share with them. Awaken our hearts to the beauty of presence, the simple grace of being together, of listening carefully, of offering patience, kindness, and attention without distraction. Remind us that every day carries opportunities to plant seeds of love that may continue growing long after the moment itself has passed. Guide our words so they bring life and encouragement to those around us, and help us live each day with the awareness that the present moment is not ordinary at all, but a sacred space where your grace quietly touches our lives. Father, many times we move through our days assuming that life will always give us another opportunity to say what matters, another chance to express gratitude, another moment to show love to the people who walk beside us. Yet time quietly reminds us that not every story includes a final conversation or a farewell that allows us to close every chapter with the words we wish we had spoken. So today we ask you to awaken our hearts to the importance of the present moment. Help us speak kindness while the moment exists. Help us show appreciation while the opportunity is still in our hands. Guide our hearts so we do not postpone love for another day that may arrive differently than we imagine. Teach us to honor the relationships and moments you have placed in our lives now, and help us live with the wisdom that every sincere act of love becomes a lasting mark written into the story of our lives. Lord, in the quiet rhythm of life, we often believe that meaning will arrive later, in a future season when everything finally feels complete and settled. Yet so many of the most meaningful parts of our story are unfolding right now in the simple moments we sometimes overlook. Help us understand that the present is not just a passage of time, but a sacred space where love can be spoken, where patience can be practiced, where forgiveness can be offered, and where gratitude can be lived in real ways. Teach us to notice the small mercies that surround us each day, the conversations that warm the heart, the peaceful silences that remind us we are not alone, the gentle evidence of your care woven quietly into the ordinary fabric of life, and guide us so that we do not rush past these moments searching for something greater, but instead learn to see that your grace is already present here. Father, we confess that many times we live distracted by worries about tomorrow or by the weight of yesterday, forgetting that the only moment we truly hold is the one unfolding in front of us now. And today we ask you to gently bring our hearts back to this present place where your grace is already at work. Help us recognize the beauty hidden inside simple moments, the quiet conversations that strengthen relationships, the peaceful minutes that allow our souls to rest, the opportunities to show patience, compassion, and understanding while life is still moving beside us. Remind us that every day we are given is a fragile and sacred gift, and that the moments we embrace with awareness today will become the memories that shape our hearts tomorrow. Guide us so that we do not walk through life half awake but fully present, grateful and attentive to the life you are unfolding right now. Lord, sometimes we imagine that the most meaningful parts of life will be the big events we remember forever, yet many of the moments that truly shape our hearts arrive quietly, almost unnoticed while they are happening. Help us recognize the sacredness hidden in those simple moments, the shared meals, the quiet walks, the conversations that seem ordinary but carry the warmth of connection. Teach us to be present with the people you have placed in our lives, instead of allowing distraction or hurry to steal the beauty of those experiences. Remind us that love grows through attention and presence more than through grand gestures. Guide us so that our hearts remain open to the small gifts that fill our days, and help us understand that the moments we value today will one day become the memories that remind us how deeply life was blessing us all along. Father, when we look back at the story of our lives, we often discover that the moments we once considered small were actually the ones that carried the deepest meaning. The quiet days when love was shared, when kindness was offered, when peace filled the room without needing any grand explanation. And today we ask you to help us recognize the value of these moments while we are still living them. Teach us to slow our hurried hearts and pay attention to the people who stand beside us, to the conversations that nurture the soul, to the opportunities to show patience, compassion, and gratitude in ways that build something lasting. Remind us that every moment lived with love becomes a seed planted in eternity, and guide us so that our lives are not measured only by the years that pass, but by the depth with which we learn to live the moments you place before us. Lord, help us understand that life is not only found in the extraordinary moments we wait for, but also in the quiet spaces between them, in the days that seem simple, yet carry the gentle rhythm of relationships, conversations, and shared experiences that slowly shape our hearts. Teach us to be fully present in those moments, instead of letting them slip away unnoticed. Open our eyes to the beauty of what surrounds us today, the people who walk beside us, the opportunities to show kindness, the moments where love can be spoken without hesitation. Remind us that every moment lived with awareness becomes part of a story written with meaning, and guide us so that we do not rush through life searching for significance somewhere else, but instead recognize that the present moment is already filled with the grace and purpose you have lovingly placed within it. Father, as we walk through the journey of life, we slowly begin to understand that time is one of the most delicate gifts we have been given, because each moment carries opportunities that may never return in exactly the same way again. Teach us to honor those moments with attentive hearts, to listen when someone speaks, to offer kindness when someone is hurting, to express gratitude while the people we love are still walking beside us. Guide us so that we do not postpone the gestures that build connection and love. Awaken in us the wisdom to recognize that the present moment is a sacred space where relationships grow, where compassion becomes real, and where your presence gently reminds us that life is happening now. Help us live with open hearts and thoughtful spirits so that the days we are given become a testimony of love, lived sincerely. Lord, as this prayer comes to its final words, we thank you for the quiet wisdom that reminds us that life is not only measured by how long our days are, but by how deeply we learn to live the moments we are given. Teach us to walk forward with attentive hearts, grateful for every breath, every conversation, every opportunity to love the people you have placed beside us. Guide us so that we do not rush past the sacredness of ordinary days, but instead learn to recognize your presence in the simple rhythm of life. Help us value the present moment as a gift that carries meaning we may only fully understand later. Remind us that every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every moment lived with sincerity becomes part of a story written with grace, and lead us to live our lives with awareness, gratitude, and love for the moments that are unfolding right now. May God give you a heart that recognizes the value of simple moments, wisdom to live the present with gratitude, and the sensitivity to love the people around you while time still walks beside you. God is with you today and always.